Bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
This is Radio.
Back again for number 10. Join Big B, DK, and Mike Jolitz for all the hot topics, weird news, and shenanigans. It's Cave Crew Radio, Season 10 at cavecrewradio.com.
Yes, we're over the endless summer now, ladies and gentlemen. If you missed it, you got to go back and watch. It ended with the Jolitz Jamboree. And how is Big B feeling after that?
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I felt fine the next day. I was well, we'll talk about it on the regular show.
Yeah.
But I felt fine the next day. I was a little surprised by that, but I felt fine.
We do have a very special Mike Jolitz Reads the News as a post show from last week.
Yes.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. The return of Twitter shits, our news, talking FLA, all this time permitting. We have epicenters. We have a much anticipated interior. No, that's not a word. Interior, I guess is the word I was trying to say. An interior anticipation of the drink of the week. It was leaked to me
yes.
2 weeks ago.
Yes. You'll see it when it comes. You know what it is, but I've tried it already, and yeah.
So how is fall? It's not even really fall yet, but the kids are back to school. How's the routines going over there?
Well, part of that will be my epicenter, but
okay. Well,
but as far as the routines go, it's you kind of forget. It's like, wait a minute. So I'm talking to my wife. It's like, what time does this kid have to be in school? Because the older one has to be in at a different time than the younger one. Is like, all right, so he's got to get up at what time? And I'm trying to figure out all the timings of this. So yeah, it's getting into the routine for all of us.
Yeah, and my kid has now started. He did carpentry last year in college, and now he's doing electricity. And he's got some wild schedules. He's got some late nights, but he brought his textbooks home, and I looked at them, and when he came in, I said, "It's the end of the road." He said, "What do you mean?" And I go, "I can't help you anymore."
Oh, yeah.
This is all fucking Spanish to me. Like, I used to be able to, business, economics, math, and there's a lot of math in it, but it's beyond math. I was reading through them, and I'm like, I can't help you now. You're on your own.
Yeah, it becomes a completely different world.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I was just talking to my son about getting his ass in gear to take the learner's permit test for driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, read through the book, take the test online. It's fairly easy. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I know pretty much all the laws and all of this stuff. That's somewhere where I can help you. So get your ass in gear.
Yeah.
Of course, typical teenager. Yeah, I'll do it.
My kid too, he's got his learners, and we're still driving him around. He's 19, and he's bitching that he has to get a bus pass. And I'm like, I put you through driver's ed. You have your learners. Like, just take the fucking road test.
Right.
Vehicle.
Right.
Mike Jolitz in chats says, hello, guys. Big part of the show tonight. Mike Jolitz recorded. We don't want him to miss dinner again.
Well, from what I understand, all was well.
Yes, I had good reports as well. But so back to, he was doing good. He was working full time, but now it's like a different schedule, and there's home. And you know what? He comes home 5 o'clock, sleeps till 10, gets up. I don't know what time he goes to bed, but he's living his own world now. He's an adult, and he's been given every opportunity, and what he does with it is ultimately up to him.
You're still at that age where you have, quote unquote, the world ahead of you.
Yes.
So you have options to do whatever you want. You still have that time.
You also have this energy that I don't have. Like, in all reality, I could have come home, eat, went to bed, slept till morning. I'm old.
Right.
Mind you, I'm up very early, and I like that routine.
Mhm.
But I mean, you were there. 2 hours, 3 hours sleep every night.
Of
party,
course.
whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can't do that. I just
No.
can't. It kills me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be out on Sunday till 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm going to need a vacation day on Monday.
You kidding me? When it comes time to do this show, it's like, are we really going to end at 9:30? Jesus Christ! I should be in bed by now.
Yeah, it seems. And then after this, I still have to eat.
Right.
And unwind for a little bit, and I go to bed at 11, and I'm still up early, and usually a nap might come in handy.
Right. Yeah. Now we're to the age where, especially after the show, like you said, after the show, I need to wind down because my mind is still racing. You're constantly thinking of things to say and whatnot. So my mind is still racing, and you just kind of sit down and relax, and I'm half in the bag most of the time.
Yeah.
So you
absolutely.
I throw on some live PD, sit on the couch until I pass out, kind of thing. But yeah, again, I'm up early as well. That's just
Yeah.
the way my body clock works.
And again, why I like getting up early is I need quiet from the family, and that goes back to doing this show. We went to a comedy show last week and then out to eat. It's fun, but I genuinely hate people.
Right.
Which I'm in a job where I deal with people, and it's really weird, but I have my close, but to me, this is fun. I feel like we're at the bar, we're having some drinks, no live music or anything like that, but we're conversing, and a lot of time we have friends in the chat with us, and this is just perfect for a Friday night for me.
Right. It's like we're what I like to call sitting at an old man bar, because at an old man bar, all there is just old men sipping on their drinks. It's fairly quiet. There may be a jukebox playing, some oldies tunes or whatever, but it's nothing loud. It's not packed, and you can just hang out and have a civil conversation and drink.
Yeah. And I will tell you, what's Mike saying now? I hate people in general as well. I think that's why we all get along so well. You have your chosen circle of those you choose to hate people with.
That's right.
But I will say, when I'm outside at the fire or, sitting around the living room, watching some football, whatever it is, and my kids' friends come over, they love my stories. So never negate an old man's story.
Oh, I'm sure it's fascinating because you have life experiences that they don't have, and some of them will never have those type of life experiences. So it's something new for them.
And of course, you and I have the skill of elaborating on a story that really doesn't have an end.
Like we do every week.
Yes.
When you don't finish it, we make it up.
We make it up for you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get on to the real show, and just sit tight while we turn on the radio button and hit the other coordinating buttons that go with it.
The show is about to start.
We have liftoff.
In 3, 2, 1.
Bam! We are back again for number 10. Cave Crew Radio, Season 10. Let's go. CaveCrewRadio.com.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I mean, we got to solve which I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clavin, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power play goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Name of the show is Cape Crew Radio. If you didn't catch on, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on CaveCrewRadio.com. Syndicating Pulse Talk FM. We're live as well. And syndicating in many other places. Also on demand. Wherever podcasts can be found. Not on Stitcher anymore because Stitcher went out of there, but it's all good. We got a big show ahead for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get back into the regular routine, may I say. We will recap what happened last week in just a little bit, but we got a few segments to get through first. But to get to those segments, ladies and gentlemen, and by the way, everything's back tonight, time permitting. We have a really special Mike Reads the News. My favorite segment, the Twitter Shits, is back again. We have our news and, of course, Talking FLA and a few other segments that we like to do, but we can't get to it till we bring in my friend.
And now, he is the king of the sovereign county of Urain Stench and Stenchlandia, the commander-in-chief of the Water Gypsies, the self-proclaimed president of the United States, a university graduate, and always the epicenter of something. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am King B. And my epicenter this week.
Before you do the epicenter, didn't we give you another name a few weeks ago? I can't remember now.
I don't recall.
I thought we added something when you were telling a story or.
Oh, I honestly don't remember. Maybe Mike does.
Maybe fact checkers, let me know. I'm not going to redo the whole thing, but there was like another piece we were going to add to that. I can't remember what it was, but
I don't even think I wrote it down. I just no, I don't think I wrote it down.
It may come to us in a dream. Anyway, I apologize. To the epicenter of the week.
The epicenter this week is the epicenter of all things, kind of a clusterfuck of a week.
I'm right there with you.
So this week was back to school. 2 different days for my sons. One was Wednesday, right? Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday. One was yesterday, Thursday. So back to school means you have to get up a little bit earlier, right? Because you got to get the kids up, you got to do all this stuff, and so I always have my alarm on my phone. So my phone is always plugged in overnight to charge for the next day. So the alarm goes off. I was awakened. I was half awake at the time, and my hand was like kind of stiff. Like I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting arthritis, but I'm having issues in my fingers, so my hand was kind of stiff.
Mine falls asleep sometimes the way I sleep, and I'm like doing this to turn I got an old alarm, right? So
I'm trying to and I got the cord plugged in, so I'm trying to pull the cord out. The whole thing falls over. My screen cracks.
Oh shit.
So I have an iPhone and that uses facial recognition. Now my facial recognition doesn't work anymore on any of the apps. So I have to reset passwords because I have to enter them manually, and because I use facial recognition, I don't remember the passwords.
Right.
So now I gotta get the kids together, get them ready for school. They go to school. Then I have to try to get this fixed. So I go to just a repair place, a cell phone repair place. They want to charge me $400 because the facial recognition.
Shit.
So they need a pure Apple product. I was like, no. So then my carrier is T-Mobile. I was like, I go to T-Mobile. I'm still paying for the phone. I said, maybe I can get a new phone and just roll the payments into that. I can't do that either because I didn't put insurance on the phone because I never drop anything until now. So I called T-Mobile. Usually, sometimes it's different when you go to the store and as opposed to when you call. So I called T-Mobile. They kind of said the same thing, but they said, let's get you in touch with Apple support. Okay, fine. They get me in touch with Apple support. Well, we can give you an appointment at the Genius Bar.
The Genius Bar.
That's Apple. Apple's in the store. You go to the Genius Bar. You can go to the Genius Bar, but since you don't have insurance, it's going to cost you $325 to fix your phone.
It's still better than $400. We're getting better here.
But it's still nothing that I did.
Yeah.
So right now I have a cracked phone. You can't really see it but up here it's all cracked. So this is where all the facial recognition stuff is.
Right. You've cracked your camera.
Yeah, it's all cracked over here. And there's cracks running down the center of the screen. So now I have to wait until next year until I can
change your phone.
I'm
due for a new phone too, actually. I'm a Galaxy guy. I have a iPhone for work, and I'm getting better at it. But Apple's just weird.
I mean, all my stuff is Apple, so it all syncs together, which is great. But now I have a cracked screen, and something has arrived.
Oh, so the epicenter is over. Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. It's at this time we play.
Mrs. B presents the drink of the week.
I wonder if this is going to work this week. No, I don't want me in that.
That's not the right one.
It's not the one I want. There we go. I'll live with that for now. That I'm not hidden under the social media contacts. Okay, so we have a glass with ice. Very exciting.
We have an empty glass, but why is the glass empty? The glass is empty because I have to actually show you what the drink is.
Okay, let's bring you full screen here for a minute.
And this is something that my wife found online somewhere. I don't know where she found it, but she said, we have to get this. So it's not for sale anywhere in New York. I had to order it online and have it shipped from like Minnesota or wherever the fuck it was.
So this is like a one-of-a-kind drink you're probably not going to find.
Well, I can't. It's not in New York. It's in several other places, I'm sure. It's just not available in New York yet.
Okay.
And we've all had waffles for breakfast, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Made by Eggo, the Eggo Waffle Company.
Lego my Eggo.
Lego my Eggo.
Yes.
Well, apparently Eggo has now gone into the alcohol business.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Eggo Brunch in a Jar Sippin' Cream. So Eggo, I guess, partnered with Sugarlands Distilling in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's called Appalachian Sippin' Cream Liqueur,
Ooh.
and it tastes like
What's
waffles and syrup.
what is the strength of the alcohol?
It is 20% alcohol, 40 proof. So
Oh,
nothing,
not bad. Not
nothing
bad.
too major.
Well, it's not bad. It's better than a beer. This sounds like something our good friend Jason Scott would enjoy.
I bet you he would enjoy it.
Yes.
Now I did
So you've
partake.
not tried this, have you? Or
I have when we first got it because we really needed, both my wife and I tried it. We really needed to know what we were getting ourselves into.
so this is the only drink. You're going to empty that right in the cup.
I'm surprised it went that far. I mean, that's all that. Yeah, this is.
And you only ordered one.
I'm gonna give the jar. So we've seen the jar. I'm giving it back to my wife so she can put it back in the fridge.
Oh, you've got to save that. You've got to rinse that out and
Oh no, we'll save it. But for now, there's still alcohol in it. So
right. But I think at some point, Mrs. B should make a drink called the Aunt Jemima pancake.
See now the up to you. The idea is to make a drink called the Aunt Jemima pancake.
Right. And serve it in that glass.
Well, she originally wanted to garnish this with a slice of bacon and a mini waffle.
Ooh, nice.
But we don't have the mini waffle, and she decided she didn't feel like opening a pack of bacon to do one.
Just one drink. Right. Absolutely.
So, but
let us know here.
The Aunt Jemima pancake is now. So now she's thinking about it. I see the wheels turning now.
Yeah.
So
get yourself on Google, and you got to use that jar though. Okay.
So, as my wife likes to put it, when you first drink it, it's got like a butterscotch flavor to it.
Right.
But on the back end, it really does taste like Sunday morning waffles and syrup. It's the weirdest thing. Like I'm drinking waffles and syrup.
So instead of a late night, you're out with the boys, you're partying on the radio, that would be more of like a mimosa that you'd have in the morning.
This is a Sunday morning drink.
Yeah.
That you want to just sit back and relax in the morning and have a kick back with a little bit of alcohol.
Yes.
You can have some Eggo alcohol, some Eggo Sippin' Cream.
Yes, I love it. I never heard of it until you showed it. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I never heard of it either until my wife texted it to me. She's like, "We have to get this. What the fuck is this?"
And you're like the guinea pig now. You know, we all sit here and go, "Oh, that looks good," or "I don't know if I want to have that," or whatever. You're like, you don't have a choice. It's drink of the week. You gotta.
I've told you this a number of times. This is her segment. She is now taking it on full tilt. She runs with it. She looks for glasses. She looks for various alcohols. I get text messages with different types of drinks. What do you think about this and that? She talks about garnishes. This is her segment, and she has run with it.
I'm telling you right now, if I was a judge, I mean, I haven't tasted any of these, but everything I've viewed, if there was like a master chef drink, I really think Mrs. B would run away with the apron or shaker or whatever the prize was. Now, before we move into talk about last week and a special Mike Reads the News, you got something else this week on your body. I don't know if it's appropriate to show anywhere else. You showed me in chat, but let's bring you up again here.
I did.
So what did you get done? What did you get done?
Yeah, it hurts a lot right now because I just got it done yesterday.
Okay.
And it's in a spot on your arm, and it's right there. So let me kind of move my arm. So this is it. So it's right where your arm bends, and it hurts a lot. And it took like 4 hours to do. and it's really sore and it hurts. But this is Eddie from Aces High,
From
Iron Maiden, Aces High. This is Eddie on the cover.
There you go.
It came out awesome. You can't really see it well, like on screen. I got to kind of try to bend my arm a little bit.
Maybe you could put the picture you showed me on the Cave Crew Radio Facebook.
Actually, I can pull it up right now real quick and put it up to the camera.
See, it really looks good, ladies and gentlemen.
So this was when right after it was done. Like they didn't even wrap it yet, so the eyes are red, and that red in the eyes is my blood. But that is my tattoo. That's what I was just showing you on my arm.
Brand new tattoo, and I mean to get one done on the inside of your arm, you really must want one bad.
I just the way I have everything on my arm. I've been staring at that one spot that was blank, and I was like, I told my wife, I said, I want to get something right there, and it's got to be. I want color because most of my stuff isn't color. It's like that's my color. That's not color. That's my son. That's not color. So I wanted something color right there, and that she said she's the one that said get Eddie, Iron Maiden. Eddie.
There you go.
So we went through looking for one and settled on the Aces High.
I wonder if we could convince him, ladies and gentlemen, to get a Cave Crew Radio tattoo on the other arm. I don't ink myself very much. I have one small one that I got when I was a very young man, stoned, and it's a marijuana leaf. I don't even do that stuff anymore. Until episode, what is it? 500? 300?
400.
I can't remember. Yeah.
400.
400. There. I'm all around it. That's me having sex, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all around it, but I never get it in. Right. Anyway, let's move along. Now we have a very special segment of Mike Reads the News. So last week, Big B, we had the Jolitz Jamboree.
Yep.
From what I'm hearing, everyone had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Great segments. Ended up in a draw. Possible new segment coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You all know how I am pronouncing words. 1 week, Big B and Mike are going to have some fun with me. But we had a great time. It was a great show. The damn thing got taken off YouTube because we were playing music clips. They were freaking 10 seconds long. We were not breaking anybody's copyright.
Hey, YouTube, I am ASCAP licensed.
Yes.
You cannot do that. I have fair use because I am officially ASCAP licensed.
So where do we send that to get the video put back up?
That I don't know. I mean, I could absolutely send them my license number and all of that stuff, but I don't know who you would contact.
So anyway, the podcast is available on audio. The video is available on our Facebook group, which is Cave Crew Radio. You can see down there where you can watch it if you want to. I don't even know if it's available on the homepage. I haven't had a chance to go look. So anyway, yeah, YouTube spoiled the party. People are texting me, emailing me, whatever. This is what shows up, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes! So I uploaded the thing again to the Facebook group. But anyway, one of the things Mike and Big B did, they were really good sports. We had some hard liquor, and they consumed quite a bit. I don't know if I still have it here. Let me see if do I still have the Jolitz Jamboree? So every time they heard this, they had to do a shot. And there was lots of them. And we're not talking Aunt Jemima's Lego Miego. These were good shots. Peanut butter whiskey and I think some rum.
Yeah, he was doing pineapple Bacardi rum.
Anyway, when the show finished, it was quite early still in Arizona.
Yes.
And Mike likes to get his content out there. And this week he did not provide us with a brand new Mike Reads the News. We do have a Twitter shit coming up later. But we have for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, just for you, a very special Mike Reads the News, which was recorded after the Jolitz Jamboree. Let's take a listen, shall we?
And now, Cave Crew Radio presents Mike Reads the News with Mike Jolitz.
Hello, Cave Crew Radio. Hello, and welcome everybody to the Mike Jolitz Show. I am Mike Jolitz. Kia ora, guten tag, and konnichiwa, bitches. How's everybody doing? I have had plenty to drink, and I'm feeling it. Alrighty, guys, it is now time for the post-Cave Crew Radio news. I didn't do the news tonight. Whatever. Today is September the 1st, 2023. Krista Moleman eclipsed 15 people on his OnlyFans page. The celebration party starts at noon tomorrow at the Hyatt in Scottsdale. Dylan Mulvaney announced at a speech he was giving that he was ready for a beer rectally. I don't know what that means, but okay, dude, or ma'am, or whatever. Drank more than half a bottle of Bacardi at Bacardi Pineapple during the Jolitz Jamboree on the Cave Crew Radio. I had a blast, as you can tell. Happy 70th birthday to Speedy Gonzalez from Looney Tunes. The Arizona Cardinals still haven't named a Week 1 quarterback for 2024. It's not Kyler Littlefuck Murray, that's for sure. 50 Cent has postponed his worldwide tour stops in Arizona due to excessive heat. Duh. Imagine that. It's hot as fuck in Arizona, retard. Lance Armstrong quit the Stars on Mars TV show. I didn't know what that was or it was even a thing, but no, whatever. And finally, in my Bacardi Pineapple induced, it's not a stupor, it's the effects of Bacardi Pineapple. Mexican beer Modelo is still outselling Bud Light. I don't care. Bud Light is boring. Oh yeah. All right, guys, that does it for this. Ooh, wow. Mike Jolitz Show. Yeah, been drinking heavily. Half a bottle of Bacardi gone. Yep, later. Bye-bye.
Apparently, Poppy Corrada has been heavily drinking as well. I don't speak binary. You are more weird than Facebook user. I'm just going to lay that out there. But thanks for coming.
Remember we used to get we deemed it the Russian bots.
Yes.
They're back.
Named Poppy Corrada.
Yeah.
That may be like a Palestinian bot or something.
We will call it a Palestinian Japanese bot.
Yes. Oh, what a combination.
There you go.
Mixing a Chihuahua with a Great Dane.
Well, now I would love to see how that would even be accomplished.
Yeah. Well, it would be called Poppy Corrada.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike Jolitz, great job. I knew you were inebriated. I've been in that spot before. You know how I stumble over words. I thought you did really good. I'm going to give you a thumbs up for that.
He really did. I don't know if I saw it that night or probably the next day. And I was laughing when I listened to it. I'm surprised. I give him a whole bunch of credit for even putting the production together when you're in that amount of a stupor. When you drink half a bottle of liquor, I mean, you're done. But he put together the production and all of that.
My eyes are bad enough as it is. Like to sit there and try and like add sound effects and shit would be absolutely brutal. But great job. In a very special Mike Reads the News. He thought there wasn't going to be one, but we found a way to make it happen. Well, something we haven't done in a few weeks, Poppy, and I don't know if you've ever heard it, you Palestinian sex bot. We're going to do our version of the news. And I get to sit back this week and not talk as much, which is usually how I get away with things. But last week, there was no way. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news.
Behind the headlines this week in Weird News.
Yes, this week in Weird News. Let me find our first story. We have a few for you. Oh yeah, big summer hit. Big summer hit. If you hadn't heard about it, the Oppenheimer and Barbie, and they call it like Bobbenheimer or something like that. Apparently, this is not just a nickname of a couple summer movies. This is a real person.
That is correct. The first story of the night comes from the New York Post. The headline reads, "My name is Barbie Oppenheimer," but most people think I'm joking. There's a real-life Barbenheimer, and she's having a few wild months. Barbie Oppenheimer has experienced an exciting summer amid the double feature of Greta Gerwig's Barbie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer that sparked a mashup obsession on the internet. The 68-year-old grandmother of 5 is owning her name, which has taken the world by storm. The Barbenheimer craze has added some more fun to my already good life. It's been great fun. I'm having a lot of fun with the craze. It's always important to embrace the serendipity in life, isn't it? While her friends think the double feature is a wonderful coincidence, Oppenheimer said that many strangers are taken aback when she introduces herself. Most people don't believe me when I say my name. They think I'm joking. Damn it. Hold on. I have a pop-up. Oppenheimer is from Newton, Massachusetts, and said that her 2 sons would like to get in on the joke as well. We were all just together to celebrate my husband's 70th birthday when the Slate interview broke, and of course, they were critiquing my responses, she said. My older son brought me a Barbenheimer t-shirt for my October birthday, but was disappointed that I already had one. Most of my grandchildren are too young to understand the craze, but my oldest granddaughter, who is only 7 and a past big Barbie fan, was intrigued. In an interview, Oppenheimer said that she was sure her summer of fame would go by fast, but she finds the whole thing pretty funny.
What are the chances of that?
What are the chances that she never used Barbie until this summer?
Yeah, she called herself Barbara.
Barbara. The entirety of her life, she was called Barbara because when she was young, people called her Barbie because of the Barbie doll, and she hated it. So
Yes.
she called herself Barbie until it became opportune for her
to be a social influencer.
That's right.
The price of fame. You know, you hear it all the time in Hollywood, but we're bringing you a little slice of a little bit smaller fame.
Yeah, I'm glad the summer of Barbenheimer is over. I will never see the Barbie movie because I have zero interest. I will, however, see the Oppenheimer movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen either.
I haven't seen either yet, but I will see the Oppenheimer movie. But anybody that goes around calling themselves Barbenheimer on purpose should be shot.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. So we just thought we'd bring that to you, ladies and gentlemen, because, both Barbie and Oppenheimer were very big. This one's kind of fun. News crews, they're always out, they're reporting, they're of course we're in Chicago, another kind of safe place. But something strange happened to this news cruise. crew while they were covering a robbery.
That is true. And remember, everyone out there, the good people of Chicago voted for this. Keep that in mind as we read the story.
Oh, okay.
The next story comes from the AP News. Headline reads, Chicago TV news crew robbed at gunpoint while reporting on a string of robberies.
I love it.
A Chicago television news crew reporting on a string of robberies ended up robbed themselves after they were accosted at gunpoint by 3 armed men wearing ski masks.
Of course.
Spanish language. Baklavas.
Yeah.
Spanish language station Univision Chicago, said a reporter and a photographer were filming just before 5 a.m. Monday in Chicago's West Town neighborhood when 3 masked men brandishing firearms robbed them, taking their television camera and other items.
Yeah, so on Facebook Marketplace right now, for sale, news camera.
At a cheap price. They're literally being sold at crackhead prices.
Like everything else.
They were approached with guns and robbed. This is a quote. They were approached with guns and robbed. Mainly it was personal items, and they took a camera. Luis Gudinez, vice president of news at Univision Chicago, told the Chicago Tribune. Gudinez said the news crew was filming a story about robberies in the West Town community that was slated to run on the morning news. He said the footage they shot was in the stolen camera, and the story never made it on air.
So these crackheads really weren't that stupid.
Well, I don't think they were crackheads at all.
Oh, okay.
They're just selling things at crackhead prices to get cheap money.
Gotcha. Pay the
quick
rent.
Money, I should say.
Pay the rent. Buy coffee.
Chicago police identified the victims as a 28-year-old man and a 42-year-old man. Police said the pair was outside when the 3 men drove up in a gray sedan and a black SUV. After the armed robbers took items from the news crew, they fled in their vehicles. No injuries were reported, and no one is in custody.
Now, I want to suggest something, that maybe the producer of this newscast should be fired. Let's send 2 people at 5 a.m. to what is apparently one of the dangerous pockets of Chicago. Everybody knows, like the Golden Mile or the Golden Horseshoe, whatever they call it. The downtown is flooded with cops. It's safe down there. Nothing's going to happen. But like probably any town, there's pockets of Chicago. When I was visiting for a soccer tournament with my kid, I turned on the TV. 11 people shot in such and such a place. Why would you be there at 5 a.m.?
100%. That went through my mind when I was reading the story originally. Why would you be there at 5 a.m.? Why wouldn't you be there at 7 when at least the sun's up, people are out, people are going to work? Why would you be there at 5 a.m. when the sun, when it's still dark out?
Right. It's basically like entering the purge without a weapon.
Right. And you're sitting there with $100,000 video camera saying, hey, come take it. You might as well have taken all the money out of your wallet, taped it to your forehead and walked around.
Jose, things are really bad tonight. I think we might pack it in for the night. Wait a minute. What's that bright light over there? It's the $100,000 video camera with 2 unarmed reporters from Channel TV 5.
Let's go check that out. I bet we can get a good deal on that camera.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear they weren't hurt.
They were not. It says no injuries were reported and no one is in custody. Goodness said Univision Chicago, the local TV affiliate of international media company Televisa Univision, is not disclosing the names of the reporter and the photographer to protect their privacy. Quote, they're okay, and we're working on it together as a team.
Good. Bring in HR for counseling.
This is what the people of Chicago voted for.
For what?
Crime, robbery. They just voted out Lori Lightfoot, who was up until this point one of the most lenient mayors as far as crime goes, of course, a Democrat, not prosecuting crimes, not arresting people. So the people of Chicago were fed up with Lori Lightfoot. She was a one-term mayor. They had two options. They had a more, still a Democrat, but a more conservative former police officer that would, his platform was running tough on crime. And then a farther left extremist, farther left than Lori Lightfoot, who is a complete defund the police supporter.
Oh, God.
And that's who they elected. So they went from left to far left. So now crime is just getting worse in Chicago, and these idiots voted for it. So you get what you deserve. I hope all your houses burn down. I hope the police all leave Chicago and you have to fend for yourselves. You voted for it. You live with it.
Looks like we're going to relive Valentine's Day again. The massacre. Wow. When it comes from Sir Big B, it's a harsh judgment. But our next story, ladies and gentlemen, is slightly less violent or obtrusive, may I say. People like to wave. I will occasionally, as much as I hate people, I will wave. Thank you. Hello. How are you? But have you ever done it naked?
Well,
this guy has.
He certainly has. This next story comes from Fox 59. Headline reads, Centerville man spread some love by waving at passing cars while fully nude.
I love it. I mean, spread the love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Coming from Centerville, Indiana. Court documents revealed that a Centerville man told police he had experienced a spiritual awakening and decided to spread some love by standing in his doorway and waving at people who drove by on US 40. The only problem? The man was completely naked.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Elijah Barker was arrested on Saturday and charged with possession of methamphetamine, a level 6 felony, and indecent exposure, a class C misdemeanor. Now we know why he was naked. He was high on meth.
Well, yes, I grant you that. But here's where, as the defendant lawyer, he was standing at his own door. Now, I haven't necessarily approached my door in complete nudity, nor do I face a highway. But occasionally you might be in your underwear or something, and you want to check out your front door. He was inside his house by the sound of this.
But his door was open and he was exposed to the public, so that's still public indecency. At a very minimum, it's public indecency.
Right. Okay.
According to like now, if he was in there and his door was closed, he was in his house and he was waving out the window. Like he was in his living room and the window was open and he was just sitting there waving in the window and he had like big windows. They couldn't do anything to him because
he could have got away with it.
Because he's in his house. But the fact that his door was open to the public, he's standing in his doorway outside and inside at the same time. But he's basically outside. That becomes indecent exposure.
But he's not mugging anyone. He's not trying to kill anyone. He's not driving a vehicle and endangering anyone. He's simply waving to people.
I agree 100%. He's not doing anything to harm people unless he was exposed, not on purpose, but unless there was the potential of children being in the area and seeing this.
Right. I get that. But to me, it was like, what's that Richard Dreyfuss movie? Boom, 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 boom,
boom. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, he was just waving. That's all he was doing.
Well, according to court documents, Centerville police were called out to the apartments located at the intersection of US 40 and McMinn Road, just across from the Centerville Bottle Shop. Somebody find out what the Centerville Bottle Shop is.
Yes, please. We need to know this location. Again, talking FLA is precedence, but a global map would also help.
Would help a lot. The apartments have the appearance of an old motel with windows and doors facing the highway and visible to passersby. According to police reports, officers were dispatched to the apartments due to reports of a man standing nude in his open doorway and masturbating in full sight of the public.
That's a whole new way of waving.
Now things are taking on a whole different tone.
He's not Willy Wonka anymore. He's Willy Wonkin. Like now I get it. Okay.
Do you think he was sitting there shaking his hips doing the helicopter with his dick out to the public?
Like the way the story started, I thought he was just standing there like Forrest Gump and forgot to put his pants on.
Not according to the report.
Well, now
officers reported arriving at Baker's apartment and finding the front door wide open and all the curtains pulled away to allow a full view of the inside of the apartment, which included a fully nude Baker. Baker met the officers at the front door and asked if they preferred he put some clothes on before speaking. I advised I would prefer that he did, an officer reportedly responded. After putting on a pair of shorts, officers began to ask Baker about his state of nudity. Barker reportedly then pointed behind the officer and said, "Jeep, Jeep."
Oh, God.
Hold while I write things down.
I got a couple things. Jeep, Jeep. I can't wait to find out what Jeep Jeep is.
Well, you ever play Punch Buggy?
Yes. No, I don't even know what it is.
When you would see an old time Volkswagen Bug, you would punch your friend in the arm and say "Punch Buggy" in whatever color the car was.
Oh, yeah. You're searching for okay, gotcha.
Right. So you Punch Buggy green. You got me. Haha. Well, he would say "Jeep, Jeep" every time a Jeep passed.
Thank God I don't live there because I drive a Jeep.
So do I. Well, I have a Jeep. The officer noted that he did not observe any Jeep on the highway. Court documents reveal officers then informed Barker, I keep saying Baker, Barker, that the department had received reports of him standing in his doorway and masturbating. When asked if these accusations were true, police said Barker admitted they were.
Oh.
When asked why he'd do such a thing, Barker reportedly replied that he thought it was acceptable behavior.
Of course it is.
Officers reported believing that Barker was on some type of narcotic and asked the man if he had a drug problem. Barker allegedly admitted to using meth, but claimed he had stopped taking the drug once he was put on an unnamed prescription.
Ooh.
Police later found meth in his wallet.
Something a little milder.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. Police later found meth in his wallet. While handcuffed, Barker told police about how he had a spiritual awakening and he wanted to spread some love all over the walls. Spread some love all over the
Jeep.
Jeep. It's like a map of the Hawaiian Islands. Look.
Oh, Lord.
And that he wanted to spread some love to the people who drove by every day by waving to them. He also told police that he had no problems with anyone because he has stood in the trenches for them. The apartment landlord told police he had recently filed to evict Barker due to neighbors complaining about the man exposing himself. A witness also recounted walking past the apartment and spotting Barker masturbating in the nude due to the front door being wide open. So he's an exhibitionist, basically.
Exhibitionist. I was thinking too. I was also in the back of my head thinking, and I know it's too late now. We're closing in on the end of the year, but this would be an excellent nomination for Story of the Year. But it's too late now. We're maybe next year. Good old Barker. Cheap, cheap.
Cheap, cheap.
Cheap, cheap, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what do we got next? Oh, you think Barker was a little dumb after his spiritual awakening? Here's a pretty good one. Here's a dude who was inebriated, and on what we'll find out in a bit, it called the cops on himself.
The next story comes from Fox8.com. Headline reads, dumb. Alleged drunk driver accidentally calls cops on himself after highway scare. This comes from Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Oh, there's a place I don't think we've been here before.
An alleged drunk driver was arrested after accidentally calling police to report his own dumb behavior. Authorities in Nebraska just released new audio and video of the driver's call to 911 in March. The man was driving along US 77 in Lancaster County. Here's what could be heard telling the 911 operator. Police say the driver...
Coming over.
Right. Police say the driver called to report someone driving on the wrong side of the road.
Oh.
But he was the one who was driving on the wrong side of the road.
So basically, this guy, in his inebriated state, again, I might change my mind once I hear the rest of the story, but he thinks he's on the right side of the road.
And they reference it in the story, I believe. Think of planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes. Or, he thought he was in England or Jamaica for a brief time.
Quote, I'm on Highway 77 going north, and then somebody's on the wrong side of the road, he told the operator. He had his brights on, man. He almost ran me off the road, the driver added. The man repeated his claim, insisting that the truck was traveling south on the northbound side of the highway. That was gnarly. That was like a lot, the driver said.
I hope he was doing hands-free. Making this call on the wrong side of the road.
I don't know. Footage released by the Lancaster County Sheriff's Department shows a deputy in a patrol car attempting to catch up to the driver following the 911 call. After conducting a traffic stop, the deputy asked if the driver knows why he's been pulled over, as seen on body camera footage and shared to Facebook. Quote, yes, because I was on the wrong side of the road, the driver said. I must have missed an exit. Later, the deputy asked the driver if he is the same motorist who called to report a truck going southbound in a northbound lane. Quote, yes, because I thought somebody was on the wrong side of the fucking road, bro.
I thought somebody was on the wrong side of the fucking road, bro.
Turns out it was you, the deputy said.
Oh, this is wonderful. It's got to be more than alcohol. Come on.
The driver responded, yeah, like a dumb fuck. The sheriff's office wrote in an on-screen message that deputies ultimately determined the driver had a blood alcohol concentration of over twice the legal limit of 0.08. No one was hurt, the department added. Representative for the office was not immediately available to provide additional details of the driver's arrest. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office did, however, say they hoped the wild but true story would serve as a reminder to drive sober over the holiday weekend coming up for the Labor Day.
Drunk would do that to you.
You lose perception of where you're going.
Or smash into a fucking ditch, or I don't know, like the remarks he's giving, or.
But I mean, you don't. I mean, you're so like almost blackout drunk, you don't realize where you're going and just wind up on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, but twice the legal limit is really not that much. At least in our brains, we consume a lot, but.
Right, we consume a lot, but as much as we consume, would you get behind the wheel of a car after doing this show?
No, God, not after this show. But I don't know how it is in New York, but the legal limit is like a beer an hour.
I don't know what it equates, but it's pretty much. I don't know what the number is in Canada. Is it 0.08? Because that's where it is pretty much across the United States.
Yeah,
0.08 is the legal limit across the U.S.
Is there any way we could get our blood alcohol rating after this show?
Well, they
Not
do.
tonight. Like, obviously not tonight. There's no app we can get that'll.
No, but they do sell kits where you can buy them to test your like it's like a breathalyzer kit.
Right.
They do sell them.
I'd be curious to know as we're cruising down the internet highway what our blood legal limit is. I'm sure I've been 5 times on some shows, but
I can concur on that.
well, it's only because we do a show on a day off, and I'm probably starting to drink at 10 or 11, like you with that watermelon shit on the street part, the block parties.
Right. Yes.
Normal nights, I don't get home till 5:30. We're on in 2 hours. I can only consume so much, right? So I'm safe. I'm getting a little going here, but I'm nowhere near. I admit I've been there. Hey, listen, ground control to Major Tom.
Hey, when we do the shows, I only start drinking when we start the show. However, if we were to do a show on a weekend, I would have been drinking for a little while.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like when we do a Monday night show and it was a Monday holiday or whatever, Friday show and I'm on vacation. Well, I'm on vacation. I'm not worried about the show till I get there. I've already got everything set up on the Thursday night, so I just got to manage to press the buttons. But mind you, I get home, say 6 o'clock, I crack a beer. It's a beer, right?
Right.
And de-stress from the week. So I don't start right when we go on air. I'll be honest. But also when we're talking a lot, it's hard to you got to get it in. To be hammered for a show, you got to get it in you before the show. In my case. In your case, you could be doing this with your fucking peanut butter whiskey in between segments and you'll be hammered either way.
This is true.
So a little bit different variants.
I'm almost done with my my drink.
Yeah, you got to move on to something better than that fucking waffle shit. You're having breakfast at Tiffany's. That's what we should call it. Not Aunt Jemima. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast.
Anyway, done with this cat, or
yes, we are.
Yeah.
The CCR breakfast.
Yeah, the breakfast.
Something like that.
You were supposed to make a book at some point. I mean, all the ideas we've come over in the past, 2016, it's almost 10 years we're rocking on, 8 years, whatever.
I can't believe it's been that long. Jesus. But we are coming up on show 400, which is crazy.
Yeah, I got to see how close we are to that so I can book some vacation days when I take the edible marijuanas on air. I can't imagine how that's going to turn out.
I think it's going to be,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be in outer space.
I think show 400 is sometime in December.
Oh, great.
When you told me about it, I kind of calculated where it is, and I think it's somewhere in December.
Yeah, I'm going to be hallucinating. What's that on your face? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to react either. So we'll see.
So I think we need to research. Not saying we want to go too far on the cautious side, but I don't think we want the big boy edibles.
Oh, I already have stuff, so I'm good.
Oh God! See, I haven't even gone shopping yet.
No, my neighbor has moved to Texas, but before they moved, they gave me some stuff, so I have stuff here.
Maybe you should mail. Well, I don't know if that'd work across the board.
No, I would not do that.
Maybe mail some to me so we're consuming the same thing.
I am not doing that because that's not only crossing state lines, it's crossing international lines.
Right.
I am not doing that.
I just really hope he didn't give you the Maui Wowie.
No, it's edible shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got to break it up kind of because it's a lot.
Right. And I hope I really hope we don't do this. This particular person, which I think is in Canada, boarded an airplane to get to their seats, which they probably paid very good money for. And those seats were covered in vomit. If you can imagine that, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever taken a plane.
That's right. The next story comes from yahoo.com. Headline reads, 2 passengers were kicked off an Air Canada flight because they refused to sit in seats covered in puke.
I say vomit. You say puke. I say vomit.
Well, the story says puke.
I agree, but it's gross. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, yes. Security escorted 2 Air Canada passengers off a plane after they refused to sit in a seat someone had vomited in. A woman who said she was seated in the row behind them wrote on social media. In an August 29th Facebook post, a user named Susan Benson said she watched 2 women and a man struggle to get seated on a flight from Las Vegas to Montreal. Benson wrote in her post that she noticed a bit of a foul smell, but hadn't yet realized where it was coming from. She said she soon learned someone had thrown up on the previous flight. Quote, Air Canada attempted a quick cleanup before boarding, but clearly wasn't able to do a thorough clean. They placed coffee grinds in the seat pouch and sprayed perfume to mask the smell. Benson did not respond to a request for comment from Insider for a comment from Insider made outside of regular working hours. I don't know what that means. Air Canada said they are in contact with the 2 passengers. We are reviewing this serious matter internally and have followed up with the customers directly as our operating procedures were not followed correctly in this instance. A spokesperson told Insider on Tuesday, this includes apologizing to these customers as they clearly did not receive the standard of care to which they were entitled and addressing their concerns. The passengers in front of Benson told Air Canada flight attendant that their seat had residue on it, but Benson said the employee told the passengers the flight was full and they had no other option. The flight attendant was very apologetic, but explained that the flight was full and there was nothing they could do. The passengers said they couldn't possibly be expected to sit in vomit for 5 hours. Benson said the flight attendant returned with a supervisor who told the passengers the same thing. The flight was full and they had nowhere else to sit. Eventually, Benson continued. The employees gave them blankets to sit on and more wipes to clean up the seats. Benson wrote that after the passengers had settled in, the pilot came down the aisle and very calmly knelt and told the 2 ladies that they had 2 choices. They could leave the plane on their own accord and organize flights on their own timeline, or they would be escorted off the plane by security and placed on a no-fly list.
And this was covered extensively in local media.
Was it really?
Not heard much of it.
Was it really? Yeah, it must have been a big thing up there, huh?
Yeah.
They would be placed on.
I'll get to it in a minute, but go ahead.
They would be placed on a no-fly list because they had been rude to the flight attendant. Benson said the passenger seated next to the 2 women got involved and told the pilot they weren't being rude. Pilot reportedly returned to the front of the plane and security guards escorted the women off. Benson wrote that she complained to Air Canada and posted about the incident on their social media pages. I have no idea if they were actually placed on the no-fly list or not. I cannot stop thinking about these 2 ladies. They did nothing wrong.
They didn't want to sit and vomit.
Right. I don't understand how Air Canada thinks that coffee grounds and perfume suddenly make vomit go away.
Yes. Where did you get this witchcraft recipe? On TikTok. I guarantee it. So Air Canada, let me give you a little debrief on Air Canada. Air Canada is the worst airline in the world. I could care less. They cancel more flights because they don't have enough pilots or whatever the problem is. They're nefarious. I will not board an Air Canada flight. Mm-hmm. I will go to the States, which Air Canada flies out of as well. But I will get Delta. I'll even freaking do Sprint. No Air Canada for me. There's 2 no-fly lists apparently to this talk show I was listening today. While I was driving to or from work. There's like a airline no-fly list, and then of course there's the government no-fly list. to be on the government no-fly list, you have to be a threat, a weapon,
a terrorist
of some sort, or a threat to people on the plane, right? But the airlines also have a no-fly list. Yeah, the pilot came up. Look, you don't have a flight. You offer them a credit. You say, look, we're really sorry that the flight is full. We'll get you on the next flight. Let us buy you dinner, maybe get a hotel, whatever it is. And Air Canada already has bad press. They're in really bad press now. These women are going to sue, and they're going to get some money out of this. Like, hey, would you like to sit and vomit? No.
Right. No, I really don't. Now, was there any positive, was there any coverage in Canada that took the side of the airline?
Oh God, no.
No,
Listen, you know the price of flights. They're cheaper in the States than they are in Canada. We have Discount Airlines, which is how I got to Halifax in the summer. It was great. No complaints. But you're paying a good buck to get on a plane for a cramped seat, right? You're paying for drinks, you're paying for meals, whatever extras you want. You're paying a good price for that seat. You do not want puke or vomit or regurgitation or whatever you call it on your seat.
There's
you don't have leg room.
In no circumstance should you board an empty plane and there be vomit somewhere on the seats. This all should have been cleaned up long before anybody boarded this flight.
Right. So part of it is, I guess there's a real pressure these days that they have a very quick turnaround, which kind of scares me. I hope they're switching pilots when they're doing this and really checking the planes. However, there's a third-party cleaning crew and another, I don't know if it was a legitimate source or not, but I heard like they actually have spare. You pull the seat out, you're going to put a new seat in. You know, like a plug and play. Right. I don't know if that's true. But irregardless, let alone the people you wanted to sit in those seats, that's got to be some kind of a, what would you call it, a biohazard for the rest of the, you know, the air circulates in a plane.
Yep.
Like, I think there's going to be more come out of this, and I'll keep you posted, but.
No, it's absolutely a bio. You are correct. It's a biohazard.
Yeah.
If there's human waste, no matter what it is, in this case it's vomit, it's a biohazard. Yeah. It has to be cleaned. It has to be sterilized, you know, in order for the next person to sit in that seat. To just cover it up with coffee grounds and perfume and then tell them they're going to be placed on the no-fly list. You know, I mean, obviously there's, like you said, they're suing. That's immediate grounds for a lawsuit, and they'll get millions out of it.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, it's not just that, it's the air. Like, you know how tight the air is in an airplane. You've been on an airplane before.
Yeah.
You're checking the engines, you're checking the electricity, you're making sure there's no fuel leaks. Nah, completely unacceptable to me. And to come from a Canadian airline is even more embarrassing.
Right.
But Air Canada is a joke. Not just for this, but they cancel flights. Like, you book a vacation. You look, I've had delayed flights. When I went to Nashville, my flight was delayed an hour. I can live with that. You found something on the plane, fix it. Great. I don't want to crash.
Right.
You can live with that. You go get a bite to eat or a drink or whatever. I can live with that. But I paid for this vacation. I got hotel reservations. These gals had to get home from Vegas to probably go to work.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I don't think so.
So now I have a question. What is because I know Air Canada is probably the number one airline in Canada because they're all over the world.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Air Canada. What is the second airline in Canada? Like here we have, American Airlines and Delta.
You have a lot more. We have WestJet.
Okay.
We have Flair. And we have what is it? Well, WestJet's at the bottom, but it was Sun something. But yeah, WestJet would be the next.
So WestJet. So this is a perfect opportunity for WestJet to step up and try to get good press on their side, and say we as far as Canadian
We are not a
citizens or whatever,
vomitarium inside of a fucking boom boom juice.
we are offering these ladies a free trip to anywhere we fly, courtesy of WestJet, because of the pains that Air Canada put them through. This is a perfect opportunity for WestJet to really strike at Air Canada and take customers away.
Yeah. No, Air Canada it's a mess. You'd have to check where they're rated, in global. They've got to be near the bottom, and not just because of shit like this, but because of canceling flights. You can't do that. You can't advertise a flight and you cancel it because of weather, not because for the fuck of it. We don't have a pilot today.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can't. And Air Canada, it's another liberal shitbag, as you would say.
Good times. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, back to the friendly skies, shall we say.
Speaking of biohazard on a plane.
Yeah, biohazards. I guess it doesn't happen only on Air Canada. We're about to hear about a plane full, not just a seat, a plane full of diarrhea.
The next story comes from WSBTV.com. Headline reads, Atlanta flight forced to come back after flyer has diarrhea all the way through the plane.
How the hell do you have that much shit in you?
How do you not hold it for the 5 steps to get to the bathroom?
Well, and I had the question of how you vomit all over everyone's seats. Like, I'd be a little embarrassed. There's a bag there, for fuck's sakes. Right. But anyway, that was the other story.
It's something that most flyers probably believe would be unimaginable. But a Delta flight from Atlanta had to turn around Friday night after a person on board soiled themselves.
Oh, majorly.
Delta confirmed that flight DL194 from Atlanta to Barcelona.
Oh, that's a long flight, too.
Had to turn back because the passenger on board was having a medical issue.
It's called the runs.
Montezuma's revenge.
Like, but Big B, I'm imagining, and you're going to tell us a story, I'm sure, but I'm imagining the person walking, like, say they're at the back of the plane, and they're walking from the front of the plane, and they're pooping like popcorn, like Jiffy Pop. Just diarrhea, and how it's getting out of their clothing.
Well, it's diarrhea, so it's flowing out of their ass like the River Nile, all the way down the aisle. The flight was about 2 hours out when Business Insider reported that it had to turn back. In an audio transmission from the flight deck posted on X, formerly Twitter, by an aviation enthusiast, the pilot said, "This is a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who's had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta."
Oh, my God. Like, what do they do? Rip their pants down and just fucking... The bathroom is taken and I got a shit. Or was it, I thought it was just a fart. We've all been there.
In a statement from Delta, spokesperson said, "Our teams worked as quickly and safely as possible to thoroughly clean the airplane and get our customers to their final destination. We sincerely apologize to our customers for the delay and inconvenience to their travel plans."
The cleaning ingredient of choice, I'm sure, while you're on a plane, because there's lots of drinks, they're all getting those little bottles of club soda.
Is it coffee and perfume, possibly? The flight ended up being delayed 8 hours before taking off again for Barcelona. Can you imagine being on the plane and you're going on vacation. You're a Georgia resident. You drive down to Atlanta, get on the. I've been to the Atlanta airport. It is monstrous.
Yeah, well, it's huge. Yeah.
Get on a plane, board a plane. You're heading to Barcelona. You're gonna have a wonderful vacation in Barcelona. Suddenly, somebody's shitting up and down the aisle. They're running around like a chicken without a head.
350-pound guy that's doing it.
They're running around without a chicken, like a chicken without a head, shitting up and down the aisle. Pants just covered in like they fell in mud. It's covered in shit.
Like
it's going into their shoes and then subsequently pouring out of their shoes because there's so much of it. It's up and down the aisles. The smell alone would have people vomiting like there's no tomorrow.
And then now we're back into vomit again. But here's the thing I have a hard time with. Even if you're really hydrated, and we've all had the shits, ladies and gentlemen, most of us sit on a toilet when it happens, but that's a lot of liquid. A plane is not it's bigger than the catwalk.
But again,
I have a catwalk of poo.
Hold while I write things down.
That's not that good. It just came to me.
So, but my question is, I mean, we've all been in airplanes. Right. The bathroom, you literally walk 25 steps to the bathroom. It's not like you're 16 blocks away from your house trying to drive as fast as you can to get there before you shit your pants. You're 25 steps from the bathroom. Why are you shitting all over the airplane?
Potential show name. I didn't write this down, but I thought it was a fart from Facebook user.
There you go.
Show note. Catwalk of poo.
That's a show name. Never mind a show note.
Anyway, Facebook user. I like Facebook user this week because they know how we roll. Anyone on this show that can discern between a show note and a show name is a true cave dweller.
That is 100% true.
Yes.
I have to find out who this is now. So give me a minute.
I do have an announcement, though. I think we may have to go into a Talking FLA special again next week because we're having fun. We're not done yet, but we still have Twitter shits and time isn't creeping. And we got a lot of Talking FLA. We got some good ones, folks. Don't worry. We might give you one just to I love when the audience comes in at 3/4 of the way through the show. Biggest crowd of the night. It's almost like, yeah, okay, this was fun. Now let's move down. Oh, let's walk into this bar. And you catch the last 3 jokes the comedian has to say.
Right. But in this instance, Facebook user is actually Mike Jolitz.
Oh.
Why? You were just posting as Mike Jolitz. How did you become Facebook user?
You are the Houdini of Cave Crew Radio.
He's the Facebook Houdini.
He's probably at work now or something. I don't know. Has to go under a alias. Anyway, I still have a problem. I'm not I'm not going to stand here and say I have not diarrheaed because, I'd be lying to you. I can say I have not raped, I have not crimed, I have not whatever else I've said. I can say that with actual conviction.
Mm-hmm.
But to say I have not diarrheaed will be a lie. No one can say that. We've all diarrheaed. But, I don't think I've started in the bedroom or the living room. Even if I did shit myself on the way to the toilet with a couple of wet farts, I'm pretty sure my wife didn't have to get out Lysol and clean the entire house.
Now, I've told the story.
I might have had to wash my underwear. So yeah, tell that story again. It's a good one. We have time.
I've told the story of when before I had a car and was driving way back in the day. I told the story of taking the bus to my friend's house, and the whole way there I had to shit. and it was diarrhea. I held it on the entire bus ride to my friend's house. I rang his doorbell, hunched over and sweating. I think his mother answered the door, and I said, I have to use your bathroom, and ran in their bathroom and shit my brains out.
Yeah, you had a constrictor sphincter.
I didn't shit all over the Q38.
Listen, I've left work and then all of a sudden the stomach rumbles or you leave wherever you are. You're driving, you're on the highway, wherever you are. You tighten up those butt cheeks, brother. And when you get there, yeah, it's a little bit of a mess inside that bowl.
But it's inside the bowl.
Shit all over the place.
You don't shit everywhere that's available to you. There's another time I was at a friend's bachelor party. We were at a bar. My stomach turned. I held that shit for the entire bachelor party.
Actually, this has happened to you quite a bit. Remember the time you were at that thing in Long Island? You got the shits.
Well, when I was at rehearsal
with the ambulance and all that shit.
What? I was never in an ambulance.
Something happened. You were there with the family at the where the Islanders play.
Right.
And you had a real bad shit, didn't you?
No.
Okay, no, forget
no,
it.
Not the only time I was that was when I had my root canal and I was in pain and they.
Oh, that's right. You had to get treated by the. See, I get confused. There's so many stories, but I do remember the story of you in the van. But kudos to you. You should have got an award. You held it.
I did.
You bursted it and I've been there too. And listen. Sometimes when it's really bad, if you cough or sneeze or something else and you fart, a little bit comes out in your underwear. But you're not shitting all over a plane.
You are not shitting like a fucking geyser.
Yeah, like this is an act of terrorism in my mind.
It's bioterrorism.
Yeah.
Out of the asshole.
Yes. Like I don't get it. If you're fully clothed, you're not the nude guy doing Jeep in the window wanking your honko. You're unless you're that guy naked on the Delta flight playing Jeep down the aisles, there's no way that much poo is going to get out of your clothing as diarrhea. Yes, some will run down your leg. Yes, you'll stink when you sit down to the person who's enjoying their scrambled eggs and a Mai Tai. Yes, all that's good. But there's no way you could get diarrhea all over a plane. It's impossible.
It is impossible. Unless you take down your pants and bend over and it becomes a hot summer afternoon when the fire hydrant cap is off and water is just spurting everywhere.
You're like
kids running
walking
through going, yay!
You're like crab walking down the aisle with your ass about 6 inches off the floor, just shitting. Just let it go. Okay, I got to get a little further before I dump the next little bit. Impossible.
Why are you not in the bathroom?
And usually, even with diarrhea, you've got about 5 minutes, I think.
It doesn't you're not just sitting like I'm sitting here talking to you and all of a sudden I'm shitting. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
You will get your stomach will turn, you'll get a little grumble, you'll get a little pain. Something will alert you to the fact that I may need to use the restroom.
The facilities, unless you have Bruno Francesco, and we've all seen him on the plane, who takes 25 minutes to place his luggage over top. Well, you fuck off. It's not a china cabinet.
This person's sitting there fucking fully enthralled in Gone with the Wind on the movie. I can't get up. They're going to war. I'm just going to shit right here. Just get up.
And who thinks so highly of themselves that they would actually succumb to shitting all over a plane? Like, back to the vomit story. If I had to vomit, I continually swallow it until I could get it into a bag or get myself to safety.
Right.
I've got a little bit of, self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to be dying to be walking down the aisle of a plane and like shit my pants.
Do you think this would be because in the story they make no mention of whether they got up, attempted to go to the bathroom, where they were when the diarrhea went all over the plane? We're assuming they were up and wandering around.
Right. It appears to me, and again, this is one of those stories where we can only assume what happened, is that some guy in mid-flight got up to do the Macarena
and
just started shitting himself.
Why not?
I'm going to do a magic trick for you, ladies and gentlemen.
It's he's doing the electric slide. He's doing the electric slide literally on shit.
And I have to agree. This I can't proclaim, Facebook user, which I'm assuming Mike, because I don't know, because there's multiple people out there. I have never diarrheaed through an airplane.
Never.
I can also add that to my statue.
Things you've never done.
I have never diarrheaed through an airplane. I couldn't agree with you more.
Can you imagine? Just now. Here's what I'm picturing. This is some person sitting at the window seat, and there's a person sitting next to them. And the person at the window seat suddenly has the diarrhea and is shitting themselves.
Yeah.
The person sitting next to them smells it, hears it, looks over, and the guy at the window is like, "What are you going to do? I got shit. I didn't feel like getting up.
Yeah.
I'm shitting where I sit."
I got diarrhea. I get embarrassed when I fart at a supermarket, let alone shitting my pants on an international flight to Barcelona. You need to eat more cheese.
Have a little fiber.
Yeah. No, fiber's bad. What are you talking about?
Doesn't that bind, doesn't it firm everything up?
That's your Metamucil. That makes you poop.
Oh, I thought it firmed it.
You need some cheese. You need something that's going to like bind you a little bit.
Eat a little cheese.
Not that I have a special diet before I go on a plane, because until tonight, this was never a concern of mine.
Did you know, like, speaking of, things like that, you farting whenever, you're out. Did you know there's a study that tells you why you fart when you go into a bookstore?
I did not know.
There is a study out there that explains why you fart when you go into a bookstore.
The smell of the paper.
Just the way you bend to look at the books, read the books, whatever. It's your stance in the store itself. That's the reason why you fart in a bookstore.
Now, see, again, my concern getting older, a cough is a scare. Like, if I really got to go to the bathroom and I cough, sometimes that causes me to fart, and usually it's just air, gas, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be a problem. Only in my case. But anyway, we got to get to our Twitter shits. My favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, I watched the chat. Okay, so it's like an algorithm. We'll have 1, we'll have 6, we'll have 4. People will drift in and out. Through the story of diarrhea, we have remained flat, which tells me you want more poo stories.
Keep that in mind for next week. More poo stories.
More poo stories coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. If that's what you want, we're going to give it to you.
You love
and we'll get into the science of it like we did tonight. But beware. I don't know your age, but eventually you're going to be walking to the bathroom and, I got to go. And a cough can trigger another reaction down your back through your buttock muscle, which may cause a little spill. Not enough for a biohazard, but enough to have to wash your underwear. That's all I'm going to say.
Good time.
All right. Listen, one of our favorite, well, my personal favorite, but one of the favorite segments on the show is the Twitter shits. And we didn't have it last week because of Joel's Jamboree, and the week before because he didn't feel like fucking doing it, or however this segment works. I don't have time. I don't feel like doing it. There's not a good story. Up your ass didn't tweet this week, so I'm not going to do it. But anyway, no, it's a great segment, ladies and gentlemen. Join in with us now, and then we'll pick our favorites and we'll name the show. And we're not done yet. It's time.
Now, it's time for another edition of Twitter Shits with Mike Jolitz.
Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads the fucking shit. All right. All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Twitter shit. Yes, everyone, this is where I take a Twitter story and tell you what Twitter comments were made about it. On today's episode, it's all about the NBA. I'm sorry, it's all about the WNBA and how a game between Seattle and someone else. There was 15 seconds left on the clock. Team was down by 5, and they just decided not to try. Yeah.
That's professionalism right there.
Okay, and here's what Twitter had to say, everybody. It just rubbed one out. Tweeted, really sad for the dozens in attendance and 4 people watching at home. At Peter Puffer tweeted, and they wonder why they don't get paid more. At Professional Idiot tweeted, like their viewer, they too know they can't score 5 points in 15 seconds. At Lifelong Loser tweeted, if I spent $7.23 on my hard-earned money for a courtside ticket, I'd want these guys to put forth more of an effort. At Pinche Wero tweeted, imagine caring about a WNBA game. At Hang On Dude tweeted, these 7 fans went home disappointed with no traffic issues. At Bumfun Y2K tweeted, I feel like the announcer should be getting twice what the NBA announcers get. Imagine having to watch the whole game and being expected to make it sound good. At Football Is Back tweeted, man, at least tickets are cheap. And I tweeted at that person and said, use Groupon code #WNBA sucks and get 43 free tickets. At Toe on the Trigger tweeted, while they pretend to play basketball for 2 hours, they could have made over 300 sandwiches. At Do I Look Like I Give a Fuck tweeted, they thought they were winning. At Fingering My Pee Hole tweeted, disappointing the tens of fans. And finally, in the Twitter shit, from I Just Shit Myself tweeted, no one would have noticed if we hadn't seen this on social media. It happened 4 days ago, and this is my first learning of it. He's not wrong. Alrighty, guys, that does it for this, the Twitter shit. I will be back next week, everybody. Later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads the fucking shit. All right. All right.
All right, and I'm gonna do it right this week. I'm gonna be conscious, and man, there's some good ones. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want your handle, your Twitter handle, your X handle, to win an award at the end of the year, you need to follow Mike Jolitz on Twitter and make sure he catches it in one of his stories. My number 5 this week is very simple. Professional Idiot. We all know one of those. I had a tie for number 4. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but I had a Pinche Wada and Peter Puffer.
I don't know how to even spell the first one.
Me either, but they tied me at number 4. Also a good one, only because and he recorded this before we even talked about it, was number 3. I just shit myself.
Very relevant to the story we just talked about.
I wonder if it was the guy on the airplane. Between 2 and 1 is always difficult, Big B, but I had I'm still not sure. But number 2, which could be a number 1, is fingering my pee hole.
Mm-hmm.
But
And the number 1 Twitter handle is
Bumfun Y2K. Did you have any others of your own on there?
I wrote down professional idiot, which I liked.
Yeah.
I also had fingering my pee hole, and I had toe on the trigger.
Oh, I missed that one. See, you go so fast. You're like writing like fucking Helen Keller scribbling on a.
You got to become like a court reporter and do shorthand.
Yeah, that's what we need. One of those machines, right? And then somebody to decipher it. But no. Fingering my pee hole really got me, but I don't know. Bumfun Y2K.
Bumfun Y2K.
It was just iconic. So I'll throw that in to the end of the year.
Got it. All right.
And by the time we get there, we got to shorten that list to like 5 for people.
Oh, right. Well, let's see. Real quick, because I've written down everyone since we agreed that this would become a thing. 1, 2, 3. Right now we're at 13.
All right. Well, what do we got? Just throw them out there real quick.
Okay. Eat my honey pot.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
Pete tugging his skin. No soup for you.
Yeah.
Abdul Hassan Chop. Betty Two Baker.
Oh, I like that one too.
Gary's got a big bush.
No, this is going to get tough.
Milk lemonade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember that one.
Pat's Pale Moon.
Yeah.
Shelly has a big cat.
Kind of like Gary's got a big bush.
Very much in the same vein.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite of all of them. I stutter when I type.
Yes, I love that one too.
Next, Dick Wrinkle.
Yeah.
And this one I have to make sure I get it right. Juanan Pablo.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. If that gets into the finals, we'll need Mike to come back and read it, or at least to record it for us. Yeah.
And the one we just had, Bumfun Y2K.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, I agree. Stutter when I type. Now that I hear them again, there's been a lot of good ones, but yeah, I stutter when I type.
That is my favorite of all of them.
Think of it. It's like you got Parkinson's, or you're coming off meth and you're trying to like type to someone, or you got a Band-Aid on your thumb like me, and you keep, it's easy when you're on a keyboard, but when you're on a phone, you got a Band-Aid on your thumb. You stutter when you type. Right?
Sure, why not?
All right. Listen, great job again, Mike Jolitz, Twitter Shits. We love the segment. It's a lot of fun. You learn something about the news, and you learn what people think about it, and you get some funny names. It's time to name the show. I don't have a tremendously a lot written down, but I do have some favorites. I wrote down one. I said, Lego my ego. I thought it was kind of when you were, doing your drink. I don't know where I heard this from. It would be a show note, obviously, too long for a show name. I think it was when Mike did his news, but I'm ready for a beer rectally.
Oh, that was the news, yeah.
Yeah. Then I just wrote down a state of nudity. It's very blunt. But my favorite one came in chat, and I think it was Mike Jolitz. A Palestinian sex pot.
Very nice. I like that one.
That's what I got. So I'm going to say, I was watching you tonight. I think you have 4.
You are correct.
Oh, I was good. See how observant I am when I'm only drinking beer, folks.
First one could be a show note. I thought it was a fart.
Yeah, no. I can't believe at this age we still laugh at this stuff.
Next up, earlier from the robbery, crackhead prices.
Yes, good one. Good one. Crackhead.
Now I'm torn between these final 2.
All right, we'll vote on it together. I'm sure they're both
okay.
good.
Yeah, I will say this in just the order I wrote them down, not in my preferential order, because I do like them both. First up, Jeep.
Yeah, no, I like that one too. So that would just be spelling Jeep with an exclamation point, and then spelling Jeep with an exclamation point.
Jeep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And again, you always say it's never going to be anything, but I like it. A catwalk of poo.
That's more like a show note, I think.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's a little long. I think it'll be a great show note, and it will qualify. But I really think that we've never had anything so weird inside a story. And then you told us the story about the Volkswagen that Jeep. Yeah. Well, he's masturbating naked. No one will know that until they listen to the podcast.
Correct.
Honestly. But I would say Jeep is very original.
Works for me. Jeep, it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jeep is the name of the show. Very impressed with the. This is a show note. This is a show name. I do appreciate it. There was that nomination though. Oh yeah, Catwalk of Pooh was a show note, and show name they thought was.
I thought it was a fart.
I thought it was a fart. Also very good. All of them very good. That's why we do it. We'll be back next week. We will add into our jackpot of Florida stories. I'm sure we'll be able by then to pull a couple more. We'll do one of our world famous Talking FLA shows. But until then, I have to pee really bad.
And be prepared for a story where somebody throws a lollipop.
There you go. Just for you guys, there's a teaser. If you stick till the end, you get the juice. All right. See you next week.
Later.
I want you to pack up and get out.
Get the hell out of here!
Go. Just go. Get out. Get the hell out!
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Fox and Friends in the morning, they're very honorable people.